Hi everyone, Miss Cox here. We're going to talk just briefly about number lines. I want to start here. It says write the number that belongs at each point. The marks show counting by ones on the number line. So marks are going to be each one of these right here. You'll hear me call them tick marks. You may hear me call them intervals. I want to use the math vocabulary here, and I'm going to say intervals. And I want to write it here, intervals. So it tells us what our intervals are. Our intervals are 1, which means every time we jump from one tick mark to the next, we're adding 1. Next one, adding 1. So each one of these jumps is an interval. Each one of these lines is a tick mark. And we jump all the way to the next one. So sometimes these tick marks will be an interval of +2 or +5 or +4. It could be just about anything. Okay, so this is asking us to write the number that belongs at each point. So I can start here at 10, and since it tells me my intervals are already 1, I just count by 1 every time I see a tick mark. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 10 plus 5 is 15. Another way to count this is you can start with a 10 and count on. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And then we have another missing number here. I'll start here. You know what? I could start here and work backwards, right? So each one of these tick marks is -1. If I'm going back this way, I'm subtracting 1 every time I jump. So -1, 29, 28, 27, 26. And I can use the other way to double check my thinking. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Yay! Okay, the next one says to draw and label a point to show where 40 belongs, and then draw and label a point to show where 14 belongs. And it's asking us how close should the points be to the other numbers. So if I've got 10 here and 80 here, this isn't 0. This starts at 10. This ends at 80. So I think 40 would be about halfway, but since it's only 30 away from 10 and 40 away from 80, I think it's going to be a little closer to the 10. So I'm going to put 40 here. And then 14 is definitely going to be a lot closer to the 10 than it is to the 80. It's only 4 away from 10, but it's a bunch more to get to 80. So 14 would possibly be there. Next one, it says write the number that belongs at each point. Let me focus that in a little bit for you. Okay, so this one doesn't tell me what the intervals are. We kind of got to figure that on our own. So I'm going to start with a number that I see, a number that it gives me. So for instance, 80. And then I'm going to count all the way to 90 and see how many tick marks I have. That'll kind of help me decide what each interval is, what each jump equals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So my interval is 1. I can shorten this, and I'm just going to say my I is 1. So if I can start here at 80 and count up to this dot, I can figure out what the value of this dot is. So 80, 81, 82, 83.
Good morning.